Hi, it's been a bit since I've really done a proper deep dive on 8-bit gaming, so I want to ramble about the Famicom, also known as the NES in America. However, there's also over 1,000 Famicom games. I can't review all of them, that's just too much for a single video, as you may expect. And rather than just pulling random games out of a hat, we're going to be looking at Famicom games that didn't release in America, made before the NES released in America. So essentially just Japan-exclusive Famicom games released before, like, mid-1985. Yeah. Oh, and also, I'm recording this video after pulling an all-nighter. I figured it might add to the funny humor if I slowly fall more and more asleep as the video goes on. And with that, yeah, let's start with 1983. They released 9 games that year, localized 66% of them, and here's the 34% they did not localize. Gomoku Narabi, I probably butchered that, and it's also sure what it says. It is a Connect 5 game. Connect 5 of your own color in a row and you win. There's different difficulty settings, and that's something, but yeah, I find the AI to be functional, and the game itself a little slow. But it's also a 1983 release, so what do you really expect? Mahjong! I'm gonna be real, I have a very poor idea of how to play Mahjong on a good day, and this version uses a lot of text. Fair, as it's a Japan-exclusive game, however, I understand nothing, I don't know how to read Japanese. So, yeah. What I can tell you, though, is that this little tea time pause screen, it's a nice touch. I enjoyed the tea time. Yeah, I think it's cool. That's really all I have to say. Sorry, I swear these reviews will get better as they go on. It's also worth noting this game only supports 2 players at once, just interesting little tidbit. Popeye no Ego Asobi. So, Popeye was a big hit arcade game for Nintendo, and this is the children's edutainment version. You see the Japanese word and translate it to English, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, not 100% sure as I can't read what it says. Maybe it already says the English word and you just gotta translate it to the Latin alphabet, something like that. Anyways, it's a simple game. It essentially just plays like Hangman for me, honestly, because I can't read the Japanese word. But, you know, I like the color, I like the music in it. It's a game. It's a game. And yeah, that's 1983. Things started off pretty small scale, makes sense not to localize any of these games. Let's move on to 1984, where they released 19 games and localized 68% of them. Here's the 32 they did not localize. Nuts and Milk, the first fully third-party game for the system made by Hudson Soft. It's mildly okay. The game features 50 levels, a very good amount, except all of the levels feel like an afterthought in my opinion. Your goal is to collect the fruit and make it to the exit. Levels tend to feature like a couple jumps and that's it, they're all very, very short. I think my biggest problem with the game is that if you push the select button on the controller, you skip the current level you're on. So if you're stuck on a level, just skip past it. It's lackluster. This doesn't affect your high score at all either. You can pretty easily get the top score by just skipping any of the difficult levels. On top of that, I found getting a high jump off these springs to just be inconsistent at best. It's not a terrible problem, but when your game is so incredibly simple, it's all gotta be good. Respect for being the first third-party game, but yeah, I don't think they quite figured it out yet. Moving on to Galaxian, originally made by Namco for the arcade, I think it's a neat little game for its original 1979 release date. However, by 1984, I find the game to be just a little lacking as well. What you see is the full game. There aren't any other enemy patterns or music, this is it. And even then, I find the game to feel a little slow. From only being able to shoot one bullet at a time to the movement speed, it all just doesn't feel great. It's not terrible, not at all, but it's not great. And that's the game. You just kind of slowly shoot things. This can slightly be explained by the fact this is running on a 16 kilobyte cartridge. For context, every game so far has run on a 25 kilobit cartridge. It's kinda shocking this thing is running at all and how limited the hardware is. It's impressive, but it doesn't make a great game. Also, for the one person who noticed I had issues running the original 1984 cartridge release of this game, so this footage is from the 1990 Famicom Disk System re-release. Shout out to the one person who realized that. Devil World. So this game isn't a full Japan exclusive like most of the ones on this list. It did get a European release, but honestly, it's one of the better games that will be covered in this video, and yeah. Per usual, what you see is what you get. Simple Pac-Man style game, except you need one of the cross power-ups to collect pellets. Your attack has range to it, and after you collect all of the pellets, there's a second phase where you need to find and bring the 4 Bibles back to the center of the screen. I find it to be a charming little game. Good bloop noises, cute little guys, alright gameplay. Also, talking more about the gameplay, the whole screen will scroll in a random direction, so don't get crushed. Honestly, that's the main thing that's gonna kill you. Like, way more than any of the enemies. It's a neat idea, and it has a lot more depth to it than a usual Pac-Man Clo. Maybe even too much depth. A full attempt at this game takes me like 30 to 45 minutes, and that's shockingly long for an arcade-style game, but I had a great time playing it, would absolutely play again. Lastly, yeah, no way this is getting localized in America due to the, you know, whole theme and everything in this game. But it's a good one, it's a really good one. I'd honestly really highly recommend that you play this game for a little bit. Just good time, yeah. Then time for more Mahjong. This time it's 4-nin Uchi Mahjong. I am trying my best to pronounce things. We're gonna call that mildly correct. I'm sleepy. Anyways, it was made by Hudson Soft, and now we have support for 4 players per match. However, I still don't know how to play Mahjong. Also, this version no longer has tea time, so do with that what you will. I'm a little sad about the lack of tea time. Yeah, all in all, I do think this version is made better than the previous version of Mahjong. Still can't play it though. I don't have anything to say. F1 Race, an extremely charming early racing game. Per usual, a simple game, however it just does everything right. The goal is a simple do 2 laps around the course before time runs out, however there's also a gear shift mechanic that makes gaining speed more interesting than the usual just holding A. There's palette swaps between races to keep things looking fresh. The other cars sometimes swap lanes in front of you, forcing you to pay attention to them more than usual than just avoiding the lane they're in. Also worth noting, cars never change lanes into you, just while they're in front of you. This helps keep frustration down, as they're never gonna just kill you because they can. The attract theme and game over theme are so fucking charming. Early Famicom shit at its peak, really. Love the little beep boops. Gotta love the beep boops, you know? Then most importantly, there's 3 different difficulty options, all with different tracks, and their own high score. This helps replay value a lot. If you're stuck on a track, just do something else. It's great. So yeah, this was the 3rd game made by HAL Laboratories, the other 2 being golf and pinball, and I think they fucking nailed it. Nothing but good things to say about this one. Hell yeah. Oh, Mappy. So, I'm fully biased when it comes to Mappy. I grew up with Mappy. It's my favorite classic arcade game from around this time. It just clicks with me. So, your goal is to collect all of the items in the house while not running into the cats. Then, mechanically, there's a good bit to it. I think that's part of the reason why I love this game so much. The pink cats will chase you, the red cat moves faster but also moves in random directions. Enemies can't turn around unless they hit a door they cannot open. Talking about doors, if you open a door into yourself, it'll throw you backwards, in turn knocking over cats if they're directly behind you. If it's a rainbow door, then it'll shoot out a wave thing and take out any cats it hits. Moving on to the trampolines, cats will not hurt you while you're on them, or just while you're in the air in general. To prevent you from staying on a trampoline forever, you can only jump on them a handful of times in a row before they break and you plummet to your death. Later levels have bells above the trampolines. If you jump into the bells, they'll fall, freezing any cats they hit. If the red cat is hiding behind an item and you collect that item while they're still hiding, you'll get extra points. And that's the basics of the game. It's just got a good bit of stuff going on for a classic arcade game, and I'm all here for this port. There's just always something to figure out in Mappy. It's so fast-paced and just, you know, you gotta keep track of where all the little cats are and what side of the screen they're on. It's good. I love it. I wish it was more popular. And it's already a popular game at that. If I am to complain though, the arcade version has much better music, but you know, the NES can only do so much. So, yeah, I love Mappy. You should play it. So some nice stuff happened in 1984. I'm a little salty that Mappy, Devil World, and F1 Race didn't get localized. I really liked those games. Also, damn, it's interesting to look at the Famicom and realizing just how slow it started out lineup-wise. Like, we're a year and a half into the system's life and they've only released 28 games. That's, you know, including all of the games, not just the ones we've checked out. So, it's time to really pick things up, huh? The NES released in America in October 1985. Point is, we're only covering 9 months of 1985, leading up to the release of the NES. Despite that, in those 9 months, they released 41 games, localizing 34%, so let's talk about the 66% they didn't localize. Starting us off will be Exerion. I have no idea how to say that name, but that's what we're going with, Exerion. This version is developed by Tosei and published by Jellico. The game is okay. Your goal is very simple. Shoot the shit. I like the look of the game, I think it has an impressive number of enemies and the backgrounds are interesting. However, I found it hard to easily keep track of your ship due to just how bright and busy the backgrounds are. I also found it hard to control your ship in general, as it's just really heavy. There's so much inertia behind every one of your movements. It makes reacting to things quickly really rough. Last complaint, the noises. Listen to this bonus game. I think this game might be better on mute. To end on a positive note though, you have 2 different kinds of bullets, the double shot that you have unlimited ammo for, however you can only have 1 bullet on screen at a time, and then you have the fast single shot that you can rapid fire and have a million bullets on screen at a time, except you have limited ammo for it. You gain 1 bullet for every enemy you kill. And I think this makes for good use of item management. It's a good idea in an okay game. Formation Z, another game published by Jellico, and another game that kinda tries. It's a side-scrolling shmup, except your ship has limited fuel, so you have to walk on the ground for most of the game. And walking on the ground, it feels so slow, that and you can only fire up in one direction. It's very limited, and it feels just sluggish. Not helping is the lack of noise throughout the game. I wonder if they had complaints about how annoying Exerion was. But yeah, I like the backgrounds in this one a lot better, but it's a shoot 'em up where you can't really aim. It's not good. Not really. No. It's Championship Lloyd Runner, yep. Okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all, on a good day, I suck at puzzle games like this, and this is a sequel to Lloyd Runner, with the intention to be as difficult as possible. Point is, I didn't make it very far. Your goal is to collect all of the gold in a level by breaking these blocks that respawn after a little while. It's simple stuff. Anyways, here's level 1. First you gotta run across these guys' heads as fast as possible or you will softlock. Then you gotta kill this guy so that he respawns over there. Then there's this moment where I had to kill a guy to spawn in some gold, or maybe just move the guy over the tile. I don't know. My brain didn't make much sense of this. I think Lloyd Runner is an interesting game, and I like the original, but I'm no champion, and this game has murdered me. Also, I like that this game does feature a password system for its 50 levels. That's really cool, even if I spent like 30 minutes on level 1 and still didn't beat it. Moving on, Space Invaders. I feel like I don't gotta explain Space Invaders. You shoot the Space Invaders before they come down and kill you, also don't get shot. It's a very, very simple game. However, it released in arcades in fucking 1978. You can't expect much. Talking about actually playing the game for a bit, I found the difficulty balancing to be really well done here. It took a few tries to beat round 1, a couple more to beat round 2. The goalpost is always in sight. That and a little beep noise slowly speeding up was shockingly atmospheric for what it is. It did a really good job carrying the vibe of the game. I had a lot of fun playing it. Like, don't write off Space Invaders for how simple it is. There's a reason why this game blew up as much as it did. It's a fun one, yeah. I'm a little surprised by it. Antarctic Adventure, a game by Konami. It's cute, I'll give it that. It's like a cute version of a racing game that I highly suspect was targeting a younger market than most of these games. Simple goal, you make it to the end of the level before the time limit, avoid the holes as they'll slow you down, and that's it. I found the game to get very monotonous very quickly, partially due to the easy difficulty, partially due to every level looking and feeling the same, and mostly because the song is only 25 seconds long and it plays on loop the whole game. Yeah, I have no desire to put more time into this one. Yi Are Kung Fu! Another name I'm probably butchering, I'm sorry. It's another Konami game, and it's an incredibly early fighting game at that. Being honest though, this is a genre that has never quite clicked with me. With that being said though, I enjoyed this one a lot more than I expected. It's V to kick, A to punch, and up to jump. Simple stuff. Goal is to kill your opponent, and yeah, every opponent feels different to fight, you can bounce off the walls, and the little victory dance and face you do when you win, it's all incredibly charming. It didn't hold my attention for long if I'm honest, but I had a very enjoyable 30 minutes with it. Just charming little time, fun little game. Yeah.
Ninja Kanmaju no Boken. This game understands the goalpost. At first you look at it and it's like, oh, okay, simple game. Kill all the enemies on the tiny level. Cool. Then you realize, oh shit, I can stun enemies by bumping into them. So you figure that out, and oh hey, we've made it to level 3. Hey, wait a minute, this is the same building that's hyped up on the points screen. I wonder if there's something important here. So you push yourself a little more and realize you just beat loop 1. But hey, during each level a rainbow ball appears, and the points screen is set up for something if you collect all 3. So you push yourself some more and beat loop 1 and collect all the rainbow balls. Would you look at that? There's a bonus game, but aw shit. Didn't figure out what was happening in time to get the perfect score, but it's definitely possible. So you do it all again, this time getting the perfect score, and wow, 2 extra lives. And with that, you might finally have a chance to beat loop 2. And oh my god, there's so many bombs now. Different enemies every loop, huh? Wonder what loop 3 has. Oh fuck, it's more bombs. And that's where I stopped playing. But yeah, very simple game, but really understands giving the player a goal that's just barely out of reach at all times. It's very well done. Also, this little AFK dance, it's so good. Very charming little game. Fun time. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm so lightheaded now after the last review. Why did I do that voice? Anyways, Jack and Bop, I'm gonna be honest, this game has never clicked with me. I keep saying this in the script. Can you tell that I wrote the script over the span of like 2 weeks? And now I'm reading it all within like an hour, and yeah, I sure repeat myself a lot, huh? Anyways, I've played a lot of the SG-1000 version of this, and it doesn't quite work with me. Your goal is to free the hearts from the cage using your bombs to unlock the exit, and then you leave. You can also stick to the ceilings and kill enemies with your bombs. It's a neat idea, but just, I don't know what it is really. The thumping heart music annoys me, and I feel like you move so slow. I never quite understood where enemies were going to move, or honestly where the bombs would roll to. It just never quite worked with me. I don't think it's a bad game. I think I might just be a fucking dumbass, you know? But it's not for me. It's Dig Dug. It's a classic, and playing it for this video, damn, what the fuck? Was it always this fast? Like, a proper attempt at this game takes like 4 minutes? Anyways, goal is, inflation. See those enemies? You fill them with air and cause them to explode, and as the name would imply, you dig your way to the enemies. You can also drop these rocks onto them. It's just an insanely frantic little game. I honestly don't remember it being as frantic as it is, but it is fucking something. It's not something you think about for long, but it's a very fun time. It's a classic. Would 100% play again. Hell yeah. Dig Dug. Also just good port of it, all in all. Yeah, I got nothing to say about the port quality other than it is very good. Flappy, it's a puzzle game thing, being our very first game made by DBsoft and our first game using a 41 kilobyte cartridge. That is like double all of our previous cartridges. It's crazy. It's a simple game. You push the rock onto the blue platform and you can destroy and push the red rocks. Lastly, you can kill enemies by crushing them or stun them by shooting them with these mushrooms. While I don't think the gameplay here is anything that stand out, it's fine, I guess. I do gotta love all the little touches to this game. The way your lives meter are just multiple full-size birds, and the way each bird takes turns doing levels, or even just the fact there's 3 different songs to pick from. It's a very charming game, in part because this game really is almost double the size of every game before this one in the video. Though I do feel like it's been a little bit since we had like a really good game I want to play for hours during this project. I miss Devil World. Anyways.